Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Capital City News. I'm your host, Yusuf Mong, and this is your best way to stay informed and engaged with Salt Lake City government. On this week's episode, we're talking RDA, we're talking Firefly Automatics, we're talking First Encampment Park. But first, our look backs, our look aheads, and our legislative update.
On March 26th, the Council approved a joint project between the Salt Lake County Housing Authority, acting as Housing Connect, with First Up House to develop 67 apartments of 1 and 2 bedrooms as an affordable housing development at 44 and 48 North 1000 West. The rents would be affordable for tenants earning 25 to 35% of the area median income. The Council also joined Mayor Mendenhall in recognizing March 31st as International Transgender Day of Visibility in Salt Lake City. They held a public hearing and approved the creation of the Yellcrest-Princeton Heights Local Historic District. Held a public hearing and approved Library Budget Amendment No. 2 for fiscal year 2023 through 2024 to cover unexpected cost overruns for the main library roof renovation project. And approved 2 projects at properties in District 7, Woodland Commons, and District 2, Simondi Avenue.
On this episode's Business Visits with the Mayor, we're taking a look at Firefly Automatics and their unique take on automated turf harvesting, ag tech. I said ag tech in public once. About 3 people said bless you, and 1 person told me to stop.
Andrew, thanks for having me here today.
Thank you, Aaron.
I've been so excited to see these big robot mowers and harvesters because I've seen videos of your stuff out in the field. Tell us about Firefly and this technology.
Well, Firefly is a high-tech company that makes ag tech equipment like you can see in the background here. It's a 10-year overnight success is what we like to say. It started in a barn out here, kind of on the west side of Salt Lake City. And we have founders that actually, my first job was throwing sod at a turf farm with my partners, the Aposhian family. Went to the University of Utah, we got engineering prowess from Utah State, BYU, and we came up with this concept to automate the harvest of turf. We look at the value that grass brings to soften up sort of these urban areas, which Salt Lake is becoming very urban, but having some grass, having some green space is very important for several things. It kind of changes your mood, softens you up a little bit, but also produces oxygen. And one of the statistics we talk about is a football field of size of grass creates oxygen for 17 people. That's a pretty good investment, especially if you're into clean air and things of that nature. And so what we try to do is facilitate this industry by having faster production of turf and doing it in a way that saves labor and emission.
Awesome. And you have mowers as well.
We have mowers because here's the big issue is a turf farm, let's say has 1,000 acres. They're gonna harvest that turf once a year, maybe twice a year in South Florida, but they mow it every week. So if you think about the labor input, the mowing's where all the cost goes with the farmers. So with that, it's private property. It's the same boring, repetitive path. It's a perfect place for a robot.
That's my retirement plan.
That's exactly what it is.
I want to ride a mower. Tell me about the situation of Firefly relative to talent that you need. You mentioned the universities that have brought some of the engineering and your own training to bear on Firefly, but what's your relationship like in this economy and in this city?
We've got this technology that can change the world. It's being built in Salt Lake City. Manufacturing's alive and well in the United States and in Salt Lake City. We have a diverse employee group that comes to work passionate, hungry. They want to work here. Now, it's hard to compete with Jeff Bezos at Amazon, who's got 5 million square feet just down the road. He pays all this money. So what can we do to retain talent? Well, we give them part of the business. We give them ownership and say, I don't have anything else to give you except the dreams and the hope of the future of this company. So just about every employee you're going to see today is a shareholder.
Oh, that's awesome.
Investing in young minds as far as technology and engineering and programming and all the things you're seeing, with sort of the dev shops and the tech moms and all those kind of people out there that are generating this mindset of we can do engineering. We can create things that actually move and create utility for real human beings. And so here's the one thing I want to kind of blow your mind with is we have 550 of these out in the world today, but they are cutting the turf for Main Street. What I mean by that is not Wall Street, not corporate profits, but for your home, wherever it is, you need a little piece of grass. You need a little piece of softness in your life. And through all the farms that we work with, we're impacting millions of people. And the genesis of that is right here in Salt Lake. So that's why we're excited about it.
We love that you're here. And from an economic development team standpoint, cultivating that awareness of your business, the opportunity it is for Salt Lakers. Yes, our K through 12, where we're engaging through the Salt Lake City School Foundation and the district itself to get juniors and seniors even aware of businesses like yours. Let's connect so we can help make that real connection between our residents and your business. Also their parents who are out there working 4 or 5 jobs between a couple of parents to keep food on the table. We've got great workforce in Salt Lake City who maybe isn't even aware of the opportunities with a company like yours, and we want to help be that connective tissue for you.
Hello everybody, I'm Gordon Huther and I'm an artist that's based out of Napa, California. The objective from the beginning was to celebrate the natural beauty of Utah. Such a beautiful job of integrating art and architecture in a very, very seamless kind of way. Rather than waking up in the morning and looking not forward to a stressful day, you're looking forward to going in and out of this airport.
On this episode's interview, we speak to Danny Waltz, director of the Redevelopment Agency. The Redevelopment Agency here in Salt Lake City implements development goals for our community. The RDA for short, but when you turn that around, it's pretty rad.
The Redevelopment Agency is technically a separate legal entity from the city. We're set up by state statute, but the mayor serves as our executive director, the city council serves as our board of directors, so we function pretty much just like any other city department with just a few nuances in what our charter is and how we operate. We are charged with basically revitalizing parts of Salt Lake City. We do that through targeting areas of the city through project areas. Our purpose in doing that is to improve livability, create economic opportunity, foster authentic communities across the city. We do that by doing projects that instill a significant amount of public benefits in them. And one of those public benefits is affordable housing, which is something that we are charged with doing citywide. In the realm of affordable housing, within the last year, prior to 2023, we saw 7 projects come online that brought forth 820 units. These were brought forth through city funding, one of the tools the Redevelopment Agency brings to the overall city funding that we provide for housing is our Housing Development Loan Program. This is something that every year we put out an annual amount of funds, and the Housing Development Loan Program is structured so that it is providing for new construction of affordable housing as well as preservation and rehabilitation. We've had this program in place for over 7 years. We average annually about $8 million in funding for that. That we utilize and put directly into projects that bring forth affordable units across the city. So in 2023, those 7 projects, as I said, brought out 820 units that are now online, open for residents and available at low income rates. Just this month, the RDA Board of Directors approved over $17.7 million in funding through our Housing Development Loan Program, and that's a milestone point in terms of the amount of funding that's provided. Over $9 million of that was brought in by Housing Stability. So the Redevelopment Agency worked in collaboration with Housing Stability to include a significant amount of their HUD funds within that, along with RDA funds. We funded over 14 projects with that funding, and those 14 projects will bring forth 1,549 affordable units as part of their development. 430 of those units are affordable to residents earning 40% or less of the area median income, and 264 of those units are either 3 or 4 bedrooms layouts, which will provide an opportunity for families to have affordable urban living in Salt Lake City. There's definitely, as we've seen, a significant demand for affordable housing in the city. This is a huge priority and goal for both Mayor Mendenhall and the Salt Lake City Council. Between the Redevelopment Agency and the Housing Stability Division, we are both trying to address this need. Housing Stability has just put forth 2 significant plans over the past year in terms of housing SLC and Thriving in Place that look to guide the city's efforts in terms of how we invest in affordable housing, as well as how we address gentrification and displacement. The RDA, in terms of the funding that we receive, both through our tax increment financing and allocations from the cities funding our future sales tax revenue, is what we put out on the street to essentially help construct those units and bring those online and help solve and close that gap of the needed housing units within the city. Between the Redevelopment Agency's website and the Housing Stability's website, you can find information on either the city's housing plans or the funding availability as we make that public, and also the information on the projects that we're funding. And then from there, you can look to find the developers and the specific partners on where to go and actually find these projects and apply for them as part of their respective developments and management companies.
When the pioneers first entered the valley, there was no housing to speak of, so they spent that first night camped out under the stars, here at First Encampment Park. I'm not that good at camping. I didn't even know that this stuff is called the ground when it's outside. I just called it the floor.
When the Mormon Pioneer Company first entered the Salt Lake Valley, the first order of business was to find a suitable campground for their first night. The new settlers followed Emigration Creek down until they found just the right spot. Thomas Bullock, the company clerk, recorded in his journal, quote, "We descended a gentle sloping tableland to a lower level where the soil and grass improved in appearance. The wheat grass grows 6 or 7 feet high. Many different kinds of grass appear, some being 10 or 12 feet high. After wading around through thick grass for some distance, we found a place bare enough for a camping ground, the grass being only knee-deep, but very thick. We camped on the banks of a beautiful little stream, Parley's Creek, which was surrounded by very tall grass." Eventually they moved further north, closer to where the city center would be, and turned the spot of their first camp into farmland. In 1997, a spot on the corner of 1700 South and 500 East was dedicated as First Encampment Park to commemorate this spot where the Mormon settlers spent their first night in the valley.
That's it for another episode of Capital City News. Remember, the best way to stay engaged is to stay informed. You can do that by following us on social media at SLC.gov, tuning in to Channel 17, or subscribing to us on YouTube. Reporting in from First Encampment Park, I'm Yusuf Mong.